Today, I want to talk about that national championship game, Alabama, Ohio State, and why it was one of the most masterful football games I've ever seen called by an offensive coordinator. If you're trying to figure out as a quarterback or as a coach, play design and how you should call plays during a game, this is the one to watch. I'm going to tell you about two different philosophies, and I'm going to show you why the offense was so good for Alabama. Coming up right now. Hey everybody, welcome to Elite Athletes TV. I'm Mike Pulaski, former 11-year pro quarterback and quarterbacks coach here at EliteAthletesTV.com. Just finished watching the All-22 on Ohio State versus Alabama in that national championship game. Crimson Tide was really, really good in that game. And yes, football is a dude's game, and yes, Alabama has a bunch of dudes, but once you get down to that national championship game, you can't play dude ball anymore, and you've got to have some finesse to go along with just being better athletically. I think in terms of the matchup, Ohio State matched up athletically with Alabama, but in terms of execution, Alabama was on point. Before we get started here today, make sure if you're new to the channel, you haven't done it in the past, you subscribe, ring that bell. Get notified every time we have new content coming out. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to take a look inside this Alabama offense and why it was so good. And leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you, your thoughts on this big game or on what I'm putting out here today. Now, I've got film to review. I'm going to look at, the different concepts, the different thought process of each team coming into the game and how that affected play calling. And then I'm going to show you how you use an opponent's weaknesses or use an opponent's decision-making on defense against them. Sark did a fantastic job of it in this game. And I want to show you that on film, how it plays out, and then about using eye candy as well. So let's take a look at the film right now. So first off, let's talk about philosophy. Coming into this game, Ohio State all year long has been a one high safety team, and they continued that tendency into this game. Meanwhile, Alabama felt like they could get away with at least starting in a two high shell. And when I say that, I'm saying two safeties up top, which leaves less men down below to defend the run. But they felt like they were solid enough across their front seven, these guys here, where they could stop Ohio State's run coming into this game. And so at least starting in that too high look was confusing for Ohio State on offense in terms of the passing game downfield. So this is just a look. You can see here they start in that too high look. What you're going to get is a rotation of one robber, or maybe even two trap where they just lock up the backside. But they're going to have a single high safety with this safety coming down to rob on this play, but starting from that two high shell. So it's a look. You can see the rotation out. As a quarterback, you're thinking too high pre-snap. You have to read it on the run. Now, Ohio State did catch them in that too high look, and they took advantage of it. So now you've got straight 2x2 versus cover 2. Alabama's going to run two carry. And so what you're going to see is safety is going to come off the hash. This safety is also going to come off the hash to cover the vertical route. And you're going to see the tight end release down the field. As he does, this linebacker is going to try to carry him through the zone. Well, that's a mismatch. They see it, and they take advantage of it on offense. But you have to be able to read that. You have to be able to make that throw every time. And even at that, it was great coverage for a linebacker to carry that ball through that middle zone there. That was a great pass by Justin Fields. But I think that cover 2 look had him confused all game long, or at least slowed him down in his reads. Now let's take a look at Alabama's offense. And this is the really good stuff that I wanted to get to here. Where Alabama decided they were going to give that 2 look, Ohio State was running a single safety look all game long. Now, this first look isn't exactly the single high look, and I'm not sure exactly what coverage this is. To me, it looks like some type of 2 invert, but you're going to see this safety try to hit that hash, and he turns his shoulders inside. Now, as you can see, 1st and 10, it's a great time to take a shot. You've got it down. It's early, 2/3 of the way through the first quarter, and the game is still tied here. You're going to see the safety hit the middle, and you're going to see this safety invert, roll down as a run support player. It was clear that Ohio State was worried about the run from Alabama all game long. And so they were going to try to keep as many people in or near the box as possible. Now, this corner gets some depth, but he's not really threatened, so he doesn't fly out to give it a true 2 invert. So it's hard to tell exactly what's going on. But this guy is a cover 2 roll corner, no doubt about it. I'm also going to show you how Alabama used their tendencies, or what Ohio State was doing to their tendencies, against them. So let's take a look at this play. You're just going to essentially get play action, half roll, off that split zone look. Mac Jones is going to come out. Devontae Smith runs down and runs a shake route or a corner route on the backside. When this safety vacates, it's just wide open to Devontae Smith. And you may be wondering, how does he get so open? We'll run through the play once, and then I'll show you when we come back. Short motion. Split zone fake. Tight end comes back. Mac Jones rolls out. Comes backside on the throw. Okay, wide open. How does that guy get so open? Let's take a look. And you could tell that this is a decision, a pre-game scout by the defense to make this happen. Because as Mac Jones gives this fake and half rolls, this safety's vision is over here. He's looking over here the whole time. I also want you to watch this backer. He is sprinting to a spot across the field, which is essentially the same spot that this safety rolls down to. They are trying to defend something that they expect to either be coming at them, or maybe a naked boot where they've got a post over the top that the safety's trying to get to. But they have a tendency that they're reacting to on defense. And so this coverage looks wacky as a result. But this safety's full attention is this way when you've got a Heisman Trophy winner right there. So hard to understand, but this, I will almost guarantee, is a pre-scout tendency play that the defense is reacting to with what they're doing. So you get front side split zone fake. I'll pause it right here. And look at the safety. His eyes are over here. He's looking for this post coming at him. This linebacker is sprinting, back turn to the play, sprinting to get to a location. He's spot dropping. And that's how you can tell this is some kind of game plan situation. His back is turned to the play entirely. He's trying to get to a hole, and there's already a safety in it. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. This guy's still looking for something there, and all of a sudden realizes there's nothing coming to me. Well, that's because this corner route's about to come out. That is like an art of war thing, Sun Tzu. Sark is using his tendencies against that Ohio State defense. He knows that they know that he runs certain plays out of certain formations and certain play actions. And so he's doing the whole Jedi mind trick and using that against them to come back with a tendency breaker. That is a tendency breaker. Clearly that defense reacting to something they had on film study, and they were out of position for that throw. Let's take a look at a couple more. So now what you're going to get, I talked about Sark using eye candy. In this case, he brings a tight end over. They're going to fake the lead draw. Najee steps down. Mac Jones gives the fake and stays front side. Devontae Smith fakes like he's coming on the end around. Watch number 7. He literally chases across through traffic trying to get outside. Doesn't even recognize that Devontae Smith stops right here. And comes back out around. So they're already outmanned, which leaves the safety as the only man to defend in the flat. You have a route combination here where you're going to get a high mesh coming across. And so this is your high-low, classic high-low. High route right here, low route right here. Same thing on the backside. After the tight end gives a fake lead, he comes out to the flat. So you have a high-low on both sides for your quarterback. Now, they could have actually run this play and handed it off to Najee this time, and they would have scored on that as well. But watch as they get out leveraged. And this is the eye candy. As Devontae Smith heads like he's taking the end around, number 7 on defense is chasing him and ends up all the way over here, just way out of position, which leaves one man back here to defend that flat. They got 2 guys against him. So now You've got one flat defender, Alabama receiver high, Alabama receiver wide. There's no way you can win on that because their extra force player came across in motion and didn't recognize that Devontae Smith had come back out of it. But great eye candy, great play design. And this is part of what I was talking about in terms of Sark calling a great game. That is a fantastic play call, and I love the design. Now, here is knowing what your opponent is trying to do against you. We talked about it. Ohio State goes with that single safety look. They are a three-match team. Three-match, very similar to one in that your corners are going to get locked up in man on the outside. And so you're going to end up with man-to-man here, man-to-man here. This safety is going to invert and come down to support the run. So they've already got 7 in the box. He's going to be essentially 7.5 to try to support on that run. But what Alabama is doing is essentially just running a 2 vertical route. They've got a short sail or short corner on the outside. They've got a dig route from their number 1 to the field and a wheel route coming off the backside of it. So this is one vertical, and then Devontae Smith is coming all the way across the hash to the opposite side. It gives you a 2 vertical look. We talked about Ohio State playing that single safety. So you get a massive stretch on this safety. In 3-match, if a receiver releases inside, you don't lock him up. If he were to release outside, now you would match him up, your safety would match him up and play him man-to-man. But because he's releasing underneath, that leaves him to the linebacker. And so as he's getting vertical, you end up with a Mike linebacker trying to chase a Heisman Trophy winner down the middle of the field. Meanwhile, this safety is rotating to the middle of the field because he has to worry about this vertical threat as well. So the safety can't be right. A linebacker, Mike linebacker, cannot match up with Devontae Smith. It's impossible. This is a great play design, understanding that Ohio State was going to play 3-match, 2 trips to the field, and they got it at the right play call. 2nd and 6, great time to take a shot. Excellent play call, excellent play design, and understanding what the defense is trying to do to you. Mac Jones was absolutely masterful in understanding where his eyes needed to be and what he was doing. A huge part of why this safety heads this way has to do with his eyes. Watch him as he hits his back step. He is looking this direction, and he actually hitches this direction. But as he does, he kicks his back foot out and puts himself in position, organizes his body to make that throw. This is worth just one more look. Watch his eyes looking to the field, hitches up towards the field, and then comes back to throw into the boundary on that over route. Masterful. Finally, this is a fantastic play on the throwback, and I love this. I've heard some people say that they thought this was an oh shit screen, meaning you throw back to the tight end coming away. I think this is a designed throwback to Najee. I think they're using that run action to the field to their advantage, understanding that as they fake backside, come out on the naked or on the boot, that the defense is reacting. In this case, Ohio State actually brings pressure off the outside. They give the run action fake and boot action, and you can tell it's boot action because they pull the guard as a personal protector. When Najee gives this fake, he then comes out. Tight end in this case, and you can watch him pre-snap. He's signaling either his receivers, telling them somebody has to get off the line because they end up in an illegal formation, or he's letting the line judge know, hey, I'm off the ball, I'm eligible. But either way, he comes late on a little leak route, just in case if they were to react up and cover this, now Mac Jones would have that leak route to his tight end as well. They're doing this off of that bubble screen action. So they're going to bring motion across and give that look of bubble screen with those guys out in front. As Mac Jones gives a fake, comes out, you're going to see him give that look, influence that direction. But then Najee able to catch this ball even with pressure coming out of that secondary. The way you can tell it's not a screen is none of these cats are getting downfield. This is a boot action. And then the way you can tell it's designed to come back as a throwback is watch this receiver up top. He literally half walks off the ball and doesn't give much effort at all on that backside. So it was designed to come this direction the whole time. So motion across, play action fake, looking at that bubble screen, and great awareness by Mac Jones on the throwback. I just think as a quarterback, he was coming back here, but to see and pick up that pressure right now, he sees it, to be able to get that ball off and just get one out that his receiver can make the catch on is a fantastic play by a quarterback. You can see a lot of really good stuff in there. I thought I've called probably 12 games where Sark has either been an offensive coordinator or a head coach in games coordinating his offense. I think by far this is the best game I've seen him call as an offensive coordinator. And I thought Mac Jones was absolutely masterful at understanding the situation in the game, understanding down and distance, personnel, coverage he was going to see, all of that stuff. I just thought he was fantastic. And I thought highly of him going into that game, but my opinion of Mac Jones as a draft pick has gotten even higher after watching that game. Just masterful in the pocket. If you like what I did here today, make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, get notified every time we have new stuff coming out. Give me a thumbs up. I appreciate you watching. Just wanted to talk about some of those quarterback skills, football skills, and that offensive coordinator stuff that coaches, quarterbacks need to understand at such a high level. Sark was just doing it as well as I've seen it done this year in college football. Thank you for sticking around. Bring you new stuff next time, and I'll talk to you soon.